Hi, good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, September 24th, and it's 9 a.m. roughly here in Chicago. I just saw a video from Dante, and he was talking about an interview that Frank Martin did with Queens of the Ring. That's Neek J. Neek J and Boxiana. And so, this is just my opinion, and I really do like Frank Martin. I've always said how I like him. But based on what I heard from the interview, I really do feel like what Frank Martin did, and this is why you got to be cautious when people take a long time to do interviews and stuff, instead of just coming out immediately and saying what the deal was, which he could have done, but he chose not to for whatever reason. So when he does come out and speak, it sounds to me like all he did was reiterate what the channels that were in his favor were saying anyway. He just came back and spit that all back at us. That's how I took it. And some of those channels, not all, I'm not saying all, some of those channels just hate Shakur. And their whole goal is to bash Shakur. So they're not going to side with him anyway. They're going to take whatever situation Frank Martin had going on and shine light on it in a positive way, because they don't want to say anything good about Shakur, or they want to attack him. So, they're going to find all kind of reasons to quote unquote debunk Frank Martin ducking. Now again, this is all just my opinion, but that's kind of what I saw or heard when Frank Martin talks. He listened to all the channels, especially the ones that were speaking in his favor, and he took their talking points. Because I'll give you an example. When you hear boxers talk about why they turn down a certain amount of money, you don't really hear them break down, and then after taxes, I don't get all of that, because you got to do this and you got to pay taxes. He heard these channels say that. Boxers do not talk like that when they talk about turning down money. You don't hear them say that. You don't hear them start saying, and $1 million, that's not really $1 million because after taxes. He heard these channels say it. Because I heard one of these channels say it. I don't remember which one. And you know how it is. You hear one say it, then the other one says it, then the other one says it. So that's what Frank Martin did. He started taking points that boxers don't even really talk like that, if it's coming from really truly within. He's taking talking points from channels that support him. And again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but we didn't need him to come and say it. He listened to the same shit we're listening to. We wanted to hear what he really had to say as soon as it happened. But he didn't do that. He came back and reiterated. I could go back and listen to these channels if I wanted to hear what he had to say, because that's all he did. And then, like Dante said, him bringing up the $8 million. Like, I don't know. Again, I like Frank Martin, and, I don't notice I didn't make a bunch of videos about how he's ducking this, that, and the other. But now I'm just going to say how I truly feel, especially based on this interview he did. If this interview was coming from a place where I feel was like really, truly the reason from the beginning, then I would feel different. But because he came back and just repeated a bunch of shit, YouTube was already saying and the comments were already saying, now I'm more solid on my opinion. Frank Martin didn't want to get his ass beat. That's my opinion. He did not want to get his ass beat. And I don't know what amount of money he would have been willing to get his ass beat for, but he didn't want to get his ass beat. That's my opinion. You don't have to agree. And so at the end of the day, I feel like he pretty much just confirmed what Shakur said. I don't know. That's maybe I missed something. I'm not going to sit up here and lie to you and tell you that I listened to the whole interview. But the things that Dante pointed out, when I heard him talking about the $1 million and you don't get that whole $1 million, I'm like, yeah, he heard that from these channels, because boxers never talk like that when they talk about them turning down money. They just don't. And when you pay attention to those things, you can always tell when somebody just been listening to what the popular opinion in their favor is saying. And I just feel like, based on the little bit of information I have, that's what Frank Martin did. He came back and just used a bunch of talking points that were the popular opinions of people who were for him and against Shakur anyway. I know a lot of people don't think he dogged, and they think everything that he chose to do was legitimate. I'm not even going to use the term duck. Frank Martin didn't want to get his ass beat for $1 million. And that's just how I feel. And again, I only feel that way based on his talking points from what I've heard in the interview. Maybe I should go back and listen to the whole interview, and then I can come back like 903 and make a video. I was wrong about Frank Martin. You guys, you follow 903 Boxing, follow him. But he has no problem coming back saying he was wrong. He'll make a I was wrong video in a heartbeat. But, maybe I'll need to do that. But from what I saw, Frank, brother, anybody can go listen to these channels and say that shit, But, that's all. I like Frank Martin. I wish him the best. And I really do hope that him turning down this $1 million does not hurt him. I don't think it will, but you never know, And that's all. And for anybody, I know when I say he didn't want to get his ass beat, some people might be feeling like, well, you don't know if he would have gotten his ass beat. I've seen him fight. I've seen Shakur fight. I really pay attention to Shakur. I paid close attention to Frank Martin. He would have gotten his ass beat. Because he, in this amount of time, no amount of training, I don't care if he teamed up with Blu-ray, nothing would have gotten him to Shakur's level. And I'm a huge Frank Martin fan, So I definitely stand by what I say on that. He would have gotten his ass beat. And maybe he just didn't want to go through that, But, that's all. And, if you feel totally different, I understand, because there's no just one opinion. There might not even be a right or a wrong opinion. But my opinion is that, his interview was him reciting everything he liked hearing on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter that was in his favor. And that's the beauty of speaking out on something immediately. It's truly coming from the heart, and it's not influenced by people with other agendas, and other motives. And that's, I just see his interview as tainted. It's a little too late, and it showed in his talking points. But that's all. Have a good day, everybody.